There we go. Oh gosh, why you guys didn't tell me? I hope nobody said there was no sound. Ugh, that was my fault. I switched it off. And I think I was talking to myself for the first 5 seconds. So sorry about that. If you guys are checking this out, I'll make sure to move past that section. That was a pain. This wasn't really paying attention. I muted myself right before I started in an attempt to fix something else, and I muted myself. So that was silly. All right, here we go. Hopefully, I can restart now and you'll actually hear me. My name is Alan C. Paul, and I'm a musician and author of the book God and Gigs. To forgot to name my own book. Successfully become a musician without sacrificing your faith. And this is our creative checkup where we go every Monday to try to give you a pep talk, a little boost from the weekend that was, so that you can pursue becoming the best creative you can be from the inside out. And there we go. Now we got some people joining us. If you didn't hear anything in the first couple of minutes, please tell everybody to come back. I'm back now. That was just me muting myself and I wasn't thinking straight. So now we have it back up and running. Same thing on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, let your friends know if you're a creative, if you're a freelancer, if you're a musician, an artist. This is where we kind of congregate all of the multi-creative. I saw this on when I was doing some searches. Multi-passionate creatives. A lot of you that are watching me right now, you probably do more than one thing really well. You might be a poet, but you're also a singer. You might be a singer, but also a graphic designer. You might be good at 3 or 4 or 5 different things, and you're just looking to use all your gifts and talents to the best of your abilities. And that goes for many of our people inside our creative community as well. So if you're in our creative community, just say hi and do a shout out. Let me check the chat as well and make sure that everybody's able to check the chat. Make sure you comment and like this on Facebook, share it, and also if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. You've probably noticed by now if you checked out any of our channel that we are doing this every week and we're adding more videos every week to really just to hit all the points that might help you in your creative life. It could be in marketing, it could be in mindset, it could be in your faith, it could be in your career in terms of making connections, making relationships that matter, in your church if it's ministry. All these different areas that might have affected your creative career, we try to address them and do so in the areas that will make the most impact on your life. And so sometimes it's not something that's as easy as just saying, oh, just follow these 5 steps to become a millionaire overnight or become a successful musician overnight. It's a lot deeper than that oftentimes. And that's why I like in God and Gigs that we always connect our faith and our principles and what we believe about God and what he believes about us. We always connect that with the practical side of how we make a career in this day and age in 2020. So with that, if you're watching, once again, just make sure you comment. Let me know you're watching, where you're watching from, and feel free to share this with your friends. And I'm just going to make sure I do my own little typing to make sure people are joining us and make sure the chat is working. And that always helps me to make sure that you can do so as well. So I'm always doing like 3 or 4 things. I'm a company of one when it comes to our creative checkups. So today's topic, and if you have anything, any questions or any comments about today's topic, please feel free to join the chat. And let me also do this since I'm mentioning the chat. Let me also make sure that I can see the Facebook community, because you guys, when you chat, unfortunately, it doesn't always go straight through. So I can't see your names all the time, but I will definitely be checking in with the creative community chat as well, because I know every once in a while you guys will say something and I didn't see it, and you might say, oh, he's ignoring me. It's just because the software doesn't always bring the chat from all the different sources. We go live from like 3 or 4 different places, and it doesn't always show everyone that's chatting. So here I am on the creative community, so now I can see you guys. If you chat, I might be able to catch that as well. Okay, so today's topic, we're talking about social media. This is a topic that we brought up in our creative community. Once again, you guys that want to join the creative community, all you got to do is go to Facebook and join the community by answering a couple of questions just to make sure you're a real person. And that's God and Gigs. That's the username. And you can just go to facebook.com/groups/God and Gigs. Okay, so that's how you get into the community. So I asked our friends there if there was anything that I could help them with right away, what would that subject be? And we said things like uh, managing your time more effectively, or faith and building your faith up and making sure you have a connection with God, or lots of different other options. But the one that overwhelmingly won was social media. And I just posted to them today and said, hey guys, we're going to do a training on social media because that's what you said you wanted. So since that's what they wanted, I wanted to kind of give a kind of a kickoff. And then those of you who might be interested in this training, we're going to schedule it right away. And I wanted to give you kind of like an idea of what we will be talking about in this social media training, because I'm no expert in social media when it comes to building millions of followers. But I do feel like I've learned a lot when it comes to making real connections with followers. And everybody that's in this group, everyone that's been in some of my other brands and my music brands, I really have focused on making communities that really know each other and know what they're about and really connect deeply, so that people that become a fan or a follower or a friend really stick with the program and they don't just kind of go in and go out. And that's really what I think has been lost in social media lately, especially in these day and age with so many divisive issues. People who are unfollowing and blocking, and I don't want to see you, and I don't want to know this person, and I don't want to see this ad, and I don't want to see that ad. And so social media doesn't seem to be very social anymore. If you know anything about the idea of social media at the beginning, it was all about, actual friends. Like you actually wanted to talk to your friends and you wanted to meet people. When Facebook started, it was a social media app for colleges. Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys, as you saw, maybe if you watched that movie, it was designed on a college campus, and it was designed to connect people who were on a certain level in a field or in a certain area, and they wanted to like meet up. And then there was many other social media apps obviously that popped up, but eventually it became less about social and more about simply getting a big audience, getting a lot of likes, getting a lot of followers, and getting people to either comment or question or just be interested in your stuff, but never really about being friends and being connected. It seemed to lose that, especially in these day and age where there is so much division over so many different issues. Social media becomes like a beast and something that we don't even want to deal with. And then when you get to us and artists, I mean, you're talking about people like us that have to reach our audiences, but we're fighting through all the noise to get boosted, or whether I should boost my post, and whether anybody's going to see my post. And if I build a big Instagram following, does that mean that they'll all come to my concert or they'll watch my live stream? There's so many questions and backs and forth. Matter of fact, if you've ever been frustrated with just the whole social media idea, how to connect with people, how to build your following, just put a yes in the comments, or put a that's me. Struggle with social. If you had a struggle with keeping social media social, then post that in the comments right now, because that will help me know that I'm on the right track, along with the rest of the creative community that said the same thing, that it doesn't feel like social. And I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson, not history lesson, like a linguistics lesson. Social, as you probably can guess, social comes from a Latin term, and it comes from the word friend. Social is really just a word for friend in Latin. And as you can probably tell from Facebook, that's not what friends means anymore. You're not really a friend with everybody you have on Facebook, probably. Nowadays, your friends are just the bunch of people who wanted to follow you, and you decide whether you're going to let them be your friend or not. But it's really not about friendship anymore. It's more about all these names and numbers that don't really represent real people. And I think that's a big issue when it comes to us as artists, because we're no longer really connecting with the people on the heart and the head level that our art connects with them. If you have anything to share about yourself, you want to connect with people, and the art really is all about making a heart connection. That's why my devotional is called Your Art, God's Heart. We want to share our heart, and then eventually God's heart, which I believe is the motivation for many of us. We want to share that heart with our audience. But if you are seeing all these numbers and Instagram algorithms and Spotify algorithms, and they're just numbers and strategies and hacks to get in front of more people, but you forget that there's real people behind the numbers, we can get caught in that same kind of avalanche of just seeing people as followers, as fans, as just a bunch of numbers to build up our audience instead of real people. And that goes to my very first point. I said I was going to give you 3 points today on how you can make your social media more social and make real connections with the people that are following you. I think I saw Precious pop up here. Make sure you, we have people who are joining us as well. So I want to make sure you can join the community. If I haven't seen you and I haven't let you join the community, just answer those 3 questions and you'll be invited automatically, by the way, to the creator community. Just join, make sure you answer those 3 questions to make sure you're a real person. And that allows you to actually see and become a part of our community, okay? So first things first, let me go down here real quick. Let's see if I can find my place around here. I was making sure the video is working. Make sure this does, wait, how do I do this? Now I gotta remember how to do it. There we go. So my first point is every like is a person. Every like is a person. And I think when we get to social media, it's so easy to just see how many likes can I get? How many followers can I get? Am I building my audience for real, or is it just a bunch of people just scrolling past my feed? And I think one of the first mindset things we have to remind ourselves is that just like when you liked this particular video, and I want to kind of see who you are and call you out by name, like I saw Precious like this. I think I saw Kat just a second ago. Even if you're not watching right now, these are individual people who took a moment of their time, stopped on my post, and thought it was worth saying, hey, I saw you. Hey, I like this. And it's so easy for us to simply see 3 likes on a post and say, oh, it only got 3 likes. Oh, it only got 2 likes. Oh, it only got 10 likes. And no one's really paying attention to this. It's not building. I'm not going to be able to reach any kind of major audience with just 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 views or whatever. And it's hard to forget, hard to remember that. Let's say those 10 people that liked your post were in a room at the same time watching your show or listening to you sing or, looking at your painting or listening to your poem. Just imagine 10 people in a row, like in rapture watching you perform. Or those 10 people, those 3 likes being the same 3 people who decide to buy your VIP package and decide they want to be in backstage there with you. Suddenly those 3 likes or 4 likes become a lot bigger when you're not looking at it in context and comparison of all the people that have tens of thousands of likes or, followers or anything, because I would love to have 5 or 6 or 7 people who just cared about me and they would be right in front of me and I can converse with them and talk with them. And it makes everything much more understandable that these are real people. Each like is a person that decided to say hello, who's decided to comment, who decided to say, I see you, I hear you, I like what you did there. And even if you don't know who that person ever is and never can, obviously there's a lot of these people who follow, you may be public and you'll never meet them. But it still represents a person who decided to look at your stuff and decided to give you that heart, that like. And we as musicians, creatives, especially as faith-focused freelancers and creatives, we have to remember that the one person is always the key. Is not about the crowd. Even though we do try to reach a crowd and we want to reach as many people as possible, I'll just give you a parable right now that you all have heard many times. You've heard about Jesus, preaching about the shepherd that left the 99 sheep and went out for the one sheep. You've heard him talk about the one coin. When the lady lost her coin, she went all over the place looking for the coin. All these parables respond to the idea of somebody leaving the crowd and looking for the one. And I think as musicians and creators, we've got to make sure we never lose track of the one, the person that one person that liked your post, that one person that saw you, that one person. You should not be dismissing it just because, well, obviously in terms of social media, we want to reach as many people as possible. But like I said, keeping that mindset in the back of our heads that we're never discounting the power of the one person, the 2, the 5, the 10 that liked your post or liked you or followed you. Each person deserves attention, deserves your gratitude. And we have to make sure not to get caught up in the numbers and the comparison. So that's number 1. So if that agrees or that kind of resonates with you, Let me see here. There we go. I see Precious. I see Kat. True story. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, I feel the same way with it says 100 messages. I haven't seen them 100 messages. Okay, well, Restream is telling me some weird stuff anyway. But yes, Precious, that's exactly what I'm saying, because it's so easy for us to get caught up in the numbers. Am I right? Like, I get caught up every week. I put a funny little reel up on Instagram that I lost one subscriber on my email list. And I just thought it was like, I just kind of had that sinking feeling. And so I posted an Instagram reel. I haven't really used that Instagram reel thing a lot, but I'm trying to use it. Another social media thing I don't want to learn. But that got so many views, kind of counteracting myself. But because I was talking about how it hurt to have that one unsubscriber, just that one person leaving me was like, oh, like I feel to my soul like they don't like me, they hate me. And that's kind of like the opposite thing. Like, you don't want to get caught up in every single person that follows you or unfollows you, but I do want you to think of them as real people. And oh, Kat, I love the idea. Yes, never lose track of the one. I think a couple of people have written songs about the one. There's one song, "Power of One" by Israel Houghton. I got to check that out and listen to that again. But yeah, the power of the one person that follows you. And I'm going to talk some more about that even in the training that we're going to do later on this week, about how that's so powerful to not get caught up in our social media followings and how many people are watching and all that kind of stuff. So here's number 2. Real responses equal real connection. And I wrote this down because I think it's so important that we think about also not just the likes and the comments and the shares, but also that each person that responds or likes or kind of says something deserves that connection in terms of a real response. Even right now, as I'm doing this right now, I'm trying my best to make sure that I really listen and respond to your comments and your questions and your concerns. Even if I'm, wanting to like find 1,000 people to watch this, I really want you to know I'm a real person. That's why I decided to start going live. That's why I decided live streaming was important, even though I don't feel comfortable in front of a camera. It's because I wanted you to have a real connection and a real response. And so in terms of Facebook, in terms of Instagram, what this means is every time somebody replies, I reply back. Even if it's just an emoji and I send back an emoji. If they write a sentence, I try to write a sentence back. If their comment is just, hey, I love this, then I try to say something right away back to them. 2 things that does. One is it does help your reach and your algorithm and all that stuff, because those comments build up, and when people see you're responding and using the platform, Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, the algorithm recognizes that and it says, oh, this is a real person and they're actually interacting in real time. Let me post or boost that post in the feed. But more importantly, what I think I'm pointing out is that real connection evolves into a conversation. And it's so important that we have real conversations with real people via social media. That's what turns it into really social. Instead of just, oh, follow me, like my post, like this, and trying to collect people to follow you, but then you never respond to those people and never tell them why they made a good decision in saying something. And it's so important to keep it social, to respond every time. Even again, if it's just one comment, respond to that comment and then ask a question. Say, hey, what did you think of this? Or what did you think of that? It works both ways, guys. Marketing is partly about creating conversations and telling stories, because it helps lead them down the path to buying or selling or, making a deeper connection with you in the commercial sense. But even deeper on the social sense, you've now committed to, I want to hear more about you. I want to see what you're about. I want to hear you. And so I think that's one of the key moments that you have to kind of make that mindset shift, is that a real response creates a real connection. If you just have this kind of like canned kind of non-personal greeting or non-personal response to everything, and you just like, go buy my product, thanks for watching, buy this, it's not building a real connection. You've got to really work on making real responses. And even if it does mean staying on social media a little longer and going through and finding all those comments, I try my best to go back every once in a while, just even if it's like 6 or 7 days old. I go back and I comment, I say thank you, I say how you doing. I try to find out as much about these real people as possible. And that's what it really refers to when I talk to real responses equals real connection. Is anybody else following this? If you're following this, just say, that's working for me. I understand, because I'm going to be commenting back to you even now. As a matter of fact, I have to, I have to stop. This for me, it's a little harder because I have to stop talking and type, because I cannot type at the same time and talk. As you can see, I tried to do it, but I'm going to try to do exactly what I just said. And I'm going to make sure I respond to everybody. You know what? I also forgot. I got to make sure that the chat is also on this screen. I can't do it right now. It'll probably take me, I'll mess up something. But yeah, I got to make sure that you guys can see the chat even as I do this on this particular screen. I'm going to do that next time. And here's the last one. Stepping outside the bubble. And when I say step outside the bubble, I mean to make real connections with real people over social. Sometimes you have to step outside of social. You got to step outside the bubble of social media, Twitter, Facebook. One thing that I've done that worked really well is for my live streaming show, Let's Keep It Playing, which is the other side of my music career. I do this, of course, for my creative community and building up my coaching, and it's all about trying to help you guys. But I also have my music career, and so I've created this live stream event, which of course I am trying to teach you guys how you can do this, because I built a community in 6 months that now has paying customers and a membership site and sells tickets, and I've had amazing guests, and it's been so cool, and I never thought I would be able to do that. But one of the things I did with my live stream feed is that I immediately, once I started getting tickets sold, I immediately reached out to those people individually, created a membership site for them, so that's not social media technically. And then also I I mailed them thank you notes. And you might say, oh, wait, you actually sat down and wrote a note? Yes, I sat down and I wrote a thank you note to each person that sent me, that paid for a ticket. And it was such an incredible feeling just to put pen to paper and then put a stamp on the envelope and mail it and say, okay, you're no longer just a follower or just someone that I just saw pop up on my feed. Again, the reason I was able to do this was because I was selling tickets through Ticket Tailor. By the way, if you guys want to check out Ticket Tailor, go to godandgigs.com/Ticket Tailor, or you can just go to our toolkit on godandgigs.com/toolkit. But you can find out how to use Ticket Tailor to sell your tickets to online events. It's free for the rest of this year. So you got about 40 days that you can sell tickets for free on Ticket Tailor. I've been using them since March, even before that, but now they've been doing, since the pandemic, they've been allowing you to use ticket sales for free for online events, not for in-person events, but for online events. So I sent that VIP note to all of my people. It was about, I'd say 20, 25 different thank you notes. And the response was unbelievable, because I don't think anybody expected me to show up in their mailbox. They didn't expect this person that was on this screen, even though I'm talking to you right now. You would probably be shocked just to walk up to me in the street and say, hey, oh, I saw you on the internet. Because we divorce and disconnect from real life when we're here, oftentimes at these boxes and Zoom and everything else, especially during the pandemic. And to be able to step outside the bubble, and I mentioned text as well. Text is another way to step outside of social media, because at least in text, it's a little bit more personal. If someone gives you their phone number to text, and a lot of celebrities are doing this now, and there's ways to make it scale, and I'm not talking about that right now, but you can mass text. I'm not talking about mass text. For a lot of the people on my live stream, I simply reached out via text. I just said, hey guys, I'm doing this. Would you like to watch? And I didn't do it as a mass text. I did it individually, talking to the people that I did have their number, and they did give me permission to text them. I just texted them, hey guys, I'm doing this. Would you like to watch? Would you like a 50% off coupon for this particular show? And I just made it personal. I said, you know what? I would like you to come to this. And it doesn't matter whether it's online or whether it's out in, in person. I would still want to make a personal invite to you. And I don't want it to sound like it's just me trying to get you to do something. I would want you to come to this even if I wasn't doing it, even if it was just somebody else's show. And that's one other way to make sure you step outside the bubble, is make sure you're not just promoting your own things. Talk about other people's stuff. Talk as a friend. Hey, I recommend this restaurant. Hey, I recommend this artist. Have you checked this person out? He is awesome. She's awesome. And make it more about the personal connection between you and that particular person, so that the social media doesn't get in the way. It's just another tool that you can use to reach those people. So as you can see, what I'm really focusing on, guys, is making it personal, making it real. And these are just 3 quick mindset and strategy ideas that can make your personal connection with your social media followers even more personal. And I'll go back once, guys, and just remind you that every like is a person. Remember that each time somebody likes something, it's not just someone scrolling past. Imagine that person being your friend, being your future follower, your future greatest fan, because they thought that your stuff was cool for a second, and they deserve to be acknowledged in that way. Even if you can't ever follow them or connect with them directly, you need to think of them as a person. Number 2, real responses equal real connection. Do your best to follow and to respond to every single comment you get, because that does build a real connection between people. Because just taking the 30 seconds to say something to someone makes a huge difference in how they respond to you. And then finally, stepping outside the bubble, trying out things like physical mail, text. I would even put also outside of social media, the membership site, like I did, building membership sites that are not necessarily in a social media. So it is kind of through email. Obviously, email kind of equates with that as well. It's not social media. So email, you want to find out how to build your email list. Email is a huge way to stay personal. Even though you can send out mass emails, you can also make it very personal and make sure that those people that are in your social media following, by the way, one thing that I should mention about email, and a lot of people forget this because some people call email old school. When I posted this on Instagram, email is still the most effective way to reach your audiences, way more than social media. And by the way, every social media account, if you ever noticed, you can't sign up for a social media account without an email. They all demand verify your email. So think about that. Every follower that you have has an email address. And that means you could connect with them directly without worrying about the algorithm if you have an email list and you find a way to get them on your email list by asking them if you want to sign up for something free or something like that. Every single one of your followers has checked their email at least to verify their Instagram account. They may not check it as much as you used to, or maybe they only check it for work, but their Instagram account and their Facebook account is linked to their email, and they have to check it or else they wouldn't have an email account. They wouldn't have a Facebook account or a social media account. So a lot of people say, oh, well, email's outdated, and people don't really use email. They use it when it matters. They use it when it matters. And that's why you need to get in front of them with email. So check out godandgigs.com/toolkit. We've rated some of the email service providers we use. We use ConvertKit. We're affiliated with ConvertKit. So I always recommend ConvertKit because it's so powerful and there's just so many tools. And we used it for 3 or 4 different brands, and it's worked out perfectly for us. And so I'd always recommend you check that out. There's a couple of workshops that I'll put you on as well if you want to find out more about email. So that's our checkup for today. As I just mentioned, if you want to check out any of the resources I've mentioned today, godandgigs.com/toolkit is the way to do that. Let me check over here and make sure before I sign off if we have anybody following or commenting in the community, because as I said, those don't always pop up right away. And I tried to get there and I didn't get there. Give me 1 second. Let me open this up here. Let's see. All right, live now. I think we're good there. And same thing for YouTube. If you followed us on YouTube, please subscribe, because this is one of the places where I really want to connect with more of you guys. Just mentioned, leave a comment, subscribe, and make sure you tap that notifications bar so every week we go live, you'll be able to connect with us. And more importantly, it will become something where we can start to build this community with you, where you become part of the community. That's my goal. It's never just to get numbers. It's to build a community of people that really understand what it's like to build a better creative life from the inside out by applying these spiritual principles, by connecting with your faith, connecting with your stuff. Oh, and there, by the way, that's godandgigs.com/Apple. That's if you want to follow us on our podcast. You can obviously, if you're an Apple user, just go to godandgigs.com/Apple. Leaving a review is another personal way that you can make a connection with me and let me know what you're hearing, what you're thinking about the podcast. Whatever podcast you use, we always go on Thursdays, we release our episodes. So if you go to guidandgifts.com/Apple and leave us a review, that's a huge way that I can connect with you. And I'm thinking about doing a little raffle or a little giveaway for our reviews very soon. We did it once before with Jordan Rayner's book, and I might do one at the end of the year. So, but don't wait for that. Go ahead and do the review. And then as soon as I can, I'll let you know there's a prize coming up as well for people who want to join us. Oh, let's see here. Let me see what just happened. I think our YouTube did not pop up where it was supposed to pop up. Not good. So mad. I apologize, guys, if that happened again, because yep, we missed it. I sent it to someplace else. So YouTube, if you're watching this, thank you for just tuning in. But looks like I rushed and did not get the YouTube to the right people. So I apologize for that. All right. Thank you, Cap, for following. Stay well. You too as well. Hope you're doing amazing. Precious, you guys, thanks for checking in. And we will be back next Monday for another creative checkup. Make sure you check us out. And again, if you're interested in any of the resources, check out those links in the description. Can't talk today. Description. And we will be back in touch with you next time. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Breaking stuff as I sign off. God bless everybody.